aspects of off-grid or microgrid or mini-grid concept. And I'll just start with 3 examples of what I have seen working well. One is the severe electricity crisis in Kathmandu, leading to people innovating and finding alternate source of energy. Now here there is no policy really that is giving the push. And what are they using it for? Because it's a cold place, they need hot water. They need solar panels on top of their houses purely to heat water. They are looking at very high cost of electricity. They're looking at electricity that is mostly unavailable. They are looking at alternate to cooking because there is no fuel that they grow themselves. They are off forested areas in urban pockets, and they are relying on India, which has to allow the import of oil and processing of the oil. Fuel is not there for them. So it's a very complex economy from a household point of view. For them, finding their own solution is the best way than dealing with all the complex policy issues and geopolitical issues that the country needs to deal with. So here is where the space for innovation opens up. People have found innumerable solutions. People have found lamps that they can charge dually on the solar generator as well as on electricity. I think conceptually, people still think electricity is the reliable source. While in reality, when you talk to families in Kathmandu where they face 10 to 12 hours of power cut, they say, solar, at least we get hot water, we can cook, and we can have our children at least studying for their exams. Even if we can't watch TV, even if we can't wash our clothes in washing machine or can't run refrigerator. So what is the aspiration there? The aspiration is still to use a lot more electricity than they can, but at least from a survival point of view, they want to say, okay, one level we want to use. So I think when we're planning, we need to plan A, B, C level of alternate energy sources. One that will help them see through 24/7 certain minimum needs. Now, that's one example. The second example I will share is what happened in a northeastern state where the common services centers, which are public access centers for government services that were established, are e-governance delivery mechanism. In these centers, there is not enough electricity guaranteed. So how do you provide services? You are, first and foremost, the services haven't reached all the villages. It's a mandate of the government that you have a national e-governance program. Government service delivery will happen through e-governance, requires both access to the internet as well as electricity source to ensure that the systems function. So electricity being one of the biggest factor that is unreliable in areas which are remote, there is need to look at an alternate energy source. So for these public service centers, which is called the common service centers, through the ministry, there was a program using the Universal Service Obligation Fund, which you just mentioned. So the USO fund requested the MNRE to help put 100% coverage to all the CSCs in one state. Out of the 393 that were to be set up, already 300 have been set up. What has happened? Suddenly, just the presence of electrification of each remote CSC. This is one CSC is put up within 6 villages. So that is how the ubiquitous presence is planned. It's remote, it's not gridded, it's used for electrification for purpose of serving a public service. So it's a public service utility. And yet, people are smart. They say, well, when the solar power is there, this is run by entrepreneurs. They have